Well, I try to be maximally honest with my audience, and I was kind of searching for a video that might help act as a commentary for Black History Month. And unfortunately, Ryan Kinel, who was notorious for hating that there were too many good black people in the Batman, yes, he actually said that, has returned with another notoriously very divisive take. This time he's targeting a Disney cartoon. And I do agree partly with what he's up to, so we're going to hear him react to what he perceives as anti-white racism.
These people, they're not big fans of white people. But this is from Christopher Rufo. This Disney clip is...
Well, I agree partly in two ways. One is that this animation style is horrendous, so Disney animation has really declined if they're putting this out and not being embarrassed. There's also definitely a lot of distortion in this presentation, sort of viewing blacks only as victims of slavery and that blacks solely created the wealth of America. I mean, that's just not true. That's not historically true. There's a lot of problems with that kind of narrative. So he's basically correct that this is a very distorted view of how history in America operates. However, the problem is he then puts forward implicitly, he never spells this out, but he seems to have a very, very, very racist propaganda history of his own.
Is pure critical race theory, including the insane conspiracy theory that Lincoln did not free the slaves. This is 1 minute and 45 seconds long. I might just let the entire thing play. This is targeted towards your children. They want them to...
So he says that it's a conspiracy theory that Lincoln did not end slavery. Well, if he means that Lincoln, through the war, helped end slavery, yes. But if we actually look at his statements, it's pretty clear cut. He didn't really care about slavery. That was never the central concern. His main concern was preserving the Union, but when the South was too aggressive, he was forced, and that's key, he was forced to act against them. But he wanted to avoid war. Again, granted, when he did commit to war, he did basically annihilate the South. However, that's basically an issue of being forced to do something that's good. But his own feelings on the matter are very clear. He just didn't view blacks as equals to white. I don't know what Ryan Kinel's up to. He just seems to be trying to replace, quote, an anti-white narrative with a pro-white narrative, but label it as, quote, historically true, which it is not. He just wants to replace one form of propaganda with another, and he kind of gets caught.
Feel bad about being white, and they want them to buy into all of this. Here we go.
This country was built on slavery, which means slaves built this country. Tilled this land from sea to sea to sea. First there was rice, tobacco, sugar cane. Then Whitney did his thing and cotton became king. And we were its soldiers. 4 million.
So he says, they're trying to make you hate yourself. Well, who is you? I would imagine by you, he means white people. So he already assumes the audience for this video is frankly mostly or only white people. Because obviously he's not really interested in Chinese people. Is he saying that Disney Corporation is trying to make Chinese people feel bad due to their treatment of black people? That doesn't make any sense. So that would be really silly. What about Arabs? What about Hispanics? You go through the list. So he's literally presupposing the Disney Corporation, they're trying to make white people hate themselves. Are these the only two groups in America? No. So that seems to be his mindset, is whites are innocent, completely innocent apparently, because Lincoln freed the slaves. So all these incidents of racism, apparently they're all just made up, or they're not too bad. At least not too bad to him. Well, just because he doesn't care about racial justice doesn't mean these are not pressing issues. They clearly are. But let me allow him to finish out his pretty moronic statements.
History in a way that's targeted towards children is absolutely despicable and disgusting. But this is Disney. This is what they've been doing. This is what they will continue to do until either people turn it off and stop supporting these things, or until they realize their mistakes, until they have complete new management.
Well, again, the basic point here would be we do want a more accurate version of events if we're going to, quote, try to educate children through animation. But it doesn't seem like Ryan really cares about the truth. He just wants a pro-white historical narrative, whether it's true or not. He doesn't care about the truth. But I do think he brought up some really difficult questions, and not just for, quote, whites, because black Americans, and I've talked with them, they definitely have their own distorted history of how slavery operated and how the history of America went. And they have their own dangerous myths and propaganda about how awful things are. I think it's a case of both groups are distorting the record. Granted, with whites, it's going to be a lot more dangerous and problematic because they're just more dominant. They have more power. So these are just very, very difficult issues. And I don't think we have a magical solution of how we treat these issues because, again, these are historical facts. But these facts are things that we create. We created slavery. We created genocide. We create these institutions. This is not like gravity. This is not something beyond us that's just a natural fact. It's something that we help bring into the world. So how we deal with it is a very difficult, sensitive topic. And it's unfortunate that Ryan is just appealing to racists and is not really interested in a genuine, honest debate. But yes, he could actually take a really strong standpoint and say, well, this is just not how things went. Let's go with a much more historically accurate narrative. That, by all means, would be very, very enlightening. But he's not interested in the truth. He's just appealing to racists for money. That's pretty awful, especially in today's climate.